I'm Anne from Game Like a Mother. I specialize in games that can be played in 20 minutes or less, and this is my gift guide for any kid. I have 4 kids ages 2 to 9, and we end up going to a fair number of birthday parties, and I always want to bring a game because that's my thing. And sometimes it can be tricky to pick out a game that's just the right fit for a kid where I don't particularly know all of their interests or what they're really into. And so generally, I found myself drawing from the games on this list because these are my can't miss games for really any kid. They're really easy to grab and play. There's little to no instruction required, and I've tested them out on a lot of kids from playdates here or at board game camps, and it just seems like every kid loves to play these games. So I have all of the games listed in the description of the video along with the timestamp for each one, and let's get started. First up, I have story cubes. I would probably get this for any age, literally from age 1 through adult. This works for because it is just a storytelling game. It is 9 dice with pictures on it, and you roll the dice and use the pictures as prompts to create an original story of your choosing. That's it. I love this game. There are so many different versions out there. There's the original, but then there's also Harry Potter, Star Wars, Voyage, Fantasia, Mystery, Doctor Who, and even Looney Tunes. So if you know something that they would like, then you can go with that. And it really does work for any age. Obviously, a 1-year-old's not going to be able to tell you a story, but you can roll the dice and use that to tell them a story, which I really could have used when one of my sons was 1 and demanded original stories before nap time every day, and I could have used something like this to help me come up with something. But even, adults at a campfire, you roll the dice and make up stories. I use this with my daughter when we go out for little coffee dates together. We roll dice and tell stories. It is just so fun. Works for literally anyone, and it's a great little game. Next up is Uno Moo. I would probably get this for between ages 3 and 5, although my older kids still really like to play it. And all the game is it's your first Uno. You have a little plastic barn, and there are little plastic animal figures in there, and even a little farmer. And it's Uno. You match the color or the type of animal that it is in order to win. And I wish I had known about this earlier. This is a great game for somebody with their first child because I didn't know about this until I had my 4th. And missed opportunities there because kids, if you try, Uno's a pretty simple game, but if you're trying to play card games with little kids, the cards are going to get all torn up, and that doesn't happen with this game. And so it's so great. You can play it pretty early, and if you get it, my youngest is 2, and we own it, but she hasn't played it correctly yet. But it doesn't matter because what's great for little kid games is where they kind of ride the line between toy and game. And this, my brother sent me a cute video of my niece playing with her version of Uno Moo and in like a little shopping cart and tossing them around and having a good time with it. So there's so many things you can do with it. You can just play with them even before you play the official game, and everybody likes cute little barn that opens and shuts and has barnyard animals go in, and then it leads to a game for them in the future, which is what you want. Next, we have Disney Princess Enchanted Cupcake Party Game, and this is probably the only game on this list that lends itself a bit more to one gender than another, but it's a cupcake game, and boys like cupcakes too, so we have this in our house. My boys play it all the time, but probably if you're giving it as a gift, more often than not, it would be to a little girl. This, I would say you could get it for ages between like 3 and 6, although my kids still like playing it. My oldest is 9, and he happily plays with the little cupcake pieces when we get it out. The game is you have a bunch of different little cupcakes that have little pieces that can be assembled. They're kind of rubbery. And you have recipe cards that are each a different princess. And you're supposed to construct a cupcake that is like Tiana's cupcake or Rapunzel's cupcake. But then on the reverse side, there's like they have a different version of it that you can make too. That's like a bunch of different princesses combined together. And there is an official game where you're supposed to, each person gets their own number of recipe cards, and then you draw tiles that allow you to get different ingredients, and you're trying to create the most completed cupcakes before the 4 tiles that make the clock tower have all been collected. Or you can just build cupcakes for fun from the recipe cards, which is what we end up doing like 90% of the time. Which is okay. It is so fun. The game is being loved and used. And this game is such a jackpot game because, again, it just rides the line between toy and game so perfectly. I've brought this into preschool classes and all the kids love it. Boys and girls love it. Because it's so, building little cupcakes is so fun, and everything is just kind of little and the right size. And never been around a kid who didn't like this game. It is a surefire hit. Next up, we have Hiss. This, I would say, is geared for ages about 4 to 6. And what it is a tile laying game where you are playing tiles that are colorful pieces of snakes, either the body, the head, or the tail, out into a communal playing area. And then if you're the one who places the tile that completes a snake, it has head, body, and tail, then you get to collect it. And then whoever has the most tiles they've collected from completed snakes wins at the end of the game. I like this game because it is truly a game, and it feels like an accomplishment to give a game to a child that is just easy fun and they'll actually play. It is so easy to set up and put away. It's just these really thick, basically indestructible tile pieces, like cardboard tile. And everybody likes it. It turns out boys and girls really like colorful, pretty snakes. There's some rainbow pieces that are wild, which is really fun. And it's nice, especially if kids have been playing a lot of games like Candyland and Chutes and Ladders. It's a very different game to be playing, but it just feels really easy. It's so easy to, you just place the tiles out in the middle and try to match. That's it. And we've gotten this out at playdates. I've used it at board game camps. Everybody's gotten it instantly and really enjoyed it. And it's a real game. So check, check, check. Good choice. Next is the game OranguTwang. This I give to between ages 4 to like 9 or maybe even 10. The game is you have a vine and you hang a little plastic orangutan on it, and you roll a die and you place fruit on the orangutan, and you're trying to not be the one to make the orangutan go twang and fly off of the vine. That's it. It is so easy to get up and running, and it seems exciting without requiring any real skill besides gentle hands. When you put it on there, you're just kind of lucky if you get a lighter item to put on, or if you get a star and get to skip putting anything on. And it's great because it seems like win or lose, kids are really happy when they play this game. You lose if you're the one who makes the orangutan go twang, but it's also kind of exciting and hilarious to see it fly up in the air, and then everybody else are co-winners. So this is a great game to give to people where there are siblings and you're like, oh gosh, nobody, they're different ages, people don't play at the same level. What's a game I can send into this house and not cause more chaos? And this is a great one because you can have a 4-year-old play it with an 8-year-old older sibling, and they're both equally likely to win, and they don't care as much if they win or lose because it's just hilarious and fun to play. And that's all it is, and it's great for exactly that. Next up is The Floor is Lava. This, again, I'd say I'd give to ages between 4 to 10. This is a game that you lay out colored foam tiles on the floor, and you do a little spinner and you just go to whatever the color the spinner lands on, and you're trying not to go in the hot lava. It's kind of like Twister, but without as much physical contact and tears. This game is so great. It's a gift both for the child and probably the parents, because if you're trapped indoors with hyped up children in the winter and you just want them to get some energy out and also just not destroy the house, this is the way. There's competitive ways to play the game. There's cooperative. There are many things you can do to make it so people aren't just still managing to jump around the room and destroy things. We usually don't have them jump from color to color because that's how you get midair collisions. So when we play, you can walk on other colors on the way to the correct color that you're trying to get to. And what you're supposed to do is whoever got to their correct color last, you remove the last tile they were standing on. So eventually it gets to, oh, there's only one yellow tile left. And so there's two people left and they're trying to go, then just whoever gets there first wins and the other person is out. But I've talked to, we have a fair number of friends that have this game now because we keep on bringing it to birthday parties. And some have said that they just leave all the colors in and then you just play it as long as you want to play it. Oh, go to this color and don't fall in. My 2-year-old likes doing it. She just runs around. We call her the lava monster, and she runs around and sort of, she likes to do the spinner, but she goes to whatever color she wants, and I don't care because she's happy. She's running around inside and nobody's fighting or crying, which is all I want. So it's just, kids walk in. We had it out the other day and some girls were coming back from, bring my daughter back from a play date, and they started playing it and didn't want to go home because it just, universal appeal, so fun. There's little question cards. If you end on a question spot, there's cute little like bonus activities like pat your head and rub your belly or pretend like you're kicking a soccer ball. Just cute, easy, fun, interesting things. So there's no home this won't do well in, and it's in like all the big box stores. It's really easy to find, and it is a great game. Don't play Twister. Play the floor is lava instead. Next up, I have Goat Slingers. I would get this for between ages 5 to 10. This game is literally just, you have a little catapult and you're trying to shoot little goat figurines up onto a mountain. That there's a base and then there's kind of 2 wobbly levels. A lower level that you get 1 point if you shoot a goat onto it, and an upper level that you get 2 points if you shoot a goat into it. And it doesn't sound like much of a game, but then you start playing and it's a little bit addictive once you get going. I brought this to my board game camps this last summer, and kids would just sit there shooting goats over and over and over again. And we're so excited when they would get one in. There's holes in on each of the levels where your goat can, even if you get it on the right level, it can fall through, but then you get a bonus turn. So they've got a few little things going on, but this is just an ideal playdate game. There's so few rules. It's so fun to play. And it doesn't seem to matter if there's no rule for how close the catapult can be to the mountain, if you can have it super far away or if you want to have it right up next to it. It doesn't seem to make it easier if you do have it right up next to it. But it's super fun. It's great to have games like this to get out when kids are playing around in your house. They're bored and they're like, oh, what should I do? Goat Slingers is a surefire hit. And it's where the kids end up getting, my 6-year-old is basically unbeatable at this. And he gets me every single time because he just knows exactly how to do it. And it's super cute, super fun, a great game to have around. Next, we have Klask, which I would say this is for anywhere from a 5-year-old to an adult. It has a pretty universal appeal. And check maybe before sending this to someone's house because it's a little bit bigger. It's like a coffee-sized table magnetic air hockey game. And it is so great because my kids like playing air hockey, but I don't want to have an air hockey table in my basement. So this fills the air hockey need without having to have a giant air hockey table in my house. It's great for kids' play dates. It's great for, my husband got it out for a guys' night a while back and everybody had a good time playing it then too. So it's one of those games that my kids, we just get it out every few months for a few days at a time and play it a bunch and then put it away. So it gets played over and over again. And I like it too because it has a little bit more going on strategically than traditional air hockey. There's a few different ways to score. You can score by getting the little ball into the goal of your opponent. You get a point that way. But they get a point if you pull your striker into your own goal. It's magnetic, so it makes a sound as it goes in, which is Klask. They call it Klask, and that's what the game is named after. But you also can get points if the striker, if you hit it too hard under the table and the top part goes flying off, then your opponent gets a point, which is nice. So when you play this, you have to play calmly and not just be having things fly around the room. And then the other way to score a point is if you, there are 3 little white magnetic pieces in the center of the board. And if you're playing the game and 2 of those get attached to your striker, then your opponent gets a point. So it's not anything complicated, but there's just a little more going on to make it more engaging. And so it makes this game really fun for a long, long time. Next, we have Uno Flip. And I would get this for anywhere between a 7-year-old to an adult. And Uno Flip is basically Uno plus some additional specialty cards. That the one that's the big deal is the one that allows you to flip the deck over. The cards are double-sided. There's a light side and a dark side. And so you hold your hand of cards, like with all of the light side cards facing you at the beginning, and you place those until somebody plays a flip card. And then everything gets flipped over. The stack of cards, your draw pile, your play pile, and your hand. You've been showing people the back side of the cards, and then you flip them around, and that's what you play with because that's what matches when you flip the deck. So it just really feels fun, but it's familiar, and it adds some specialty cards, but in a they're very easy and pretty intuitive to figure out what they require. So we used this at a Girl Scout event recently, and all the girls loved it. Everybody's played Uno, so it was a really easy one to set up and have them start playing with minimal assistance on my part. Everybody liked it. The best thing about Uno are those specialty cards, and they added a few. So just genius, fun. It's cheap. It's at most big box stores for around, I don't know, like $5 right now. And I've even found there's a waterproof version online. So it's a great game to get for somebody to play at the pool or at a hot tub. So Uno plus extra fun, and it doesn't add much time. So this is just, I don't think of Uno as one of the game, like my go-to game, but we've been loving this game. We've been playing this. It's a great one to just play right before bedtime too, because it fits into that time really quickly and easily, and everybody loves Uno, so it's a great game. And the final game on this list is Cat Stax, or Dog Pile, or Hay Stax, depending on your theme of preference. I would get Cat Stax and Dog Pile for probably ages 8 and up to adult, and Hay Stax would be more like 6 and up. It's a little bit easier. What they are little puzzle games, and you use the animal pieces that they give you. There's a bunch of little cat figures that come with the game, and then they have different cards that have puzzles or challenges for you to do, and they tell you which cats you're supposed to use, and you're supposed to place them in whatever the shape is so they fit it perfectly. They are the puzzle pieces. And it goes from the very beginning ones where it's just one level and you fill it evenly, and then it gets more and more difficult, and there's intermediate and advanced where you have to stack them up a couple levels. And so you get, by the very end, you have 4 high puzzle of the cats where you're just trying to fit them into this shape perfectly. And it's so great because, again, like no instruction required. It's very clear. You're handed this thing, and it shows you the top which cats to use for that particular puzzle. So you put those aside and try to fit them in. And it's really fun. It's just, they all have solution cards. So if one's really tricky, and they do get tricky as an adult, they're very challenging. The easy ones are fine, but then it gets harder and harder as you go along. And I need somebody to help me with sneaking a peek at the solution card sometime and saying, why don't you try this cat here as a starter, and then go from there. But it's very unique and it's very portable. I brought this, my daughter's been my coffee shop buddy lately, and we went to a coffee shop the other weekend and we brought cat Stax because it's a perfect little coffee shop game. It's so portable, it's so easy, and it doesn't take a lot of time, and it's not loud, and it doesn't take a bunch of space. And a couple people came up asking about the cute little game because it is so perfect for things like that, and you can just tuck it into a purse or a bag and bring along anywhere. And it's really fun to play and really easy to figure out. So yet another surefire hit. So that's it for my gift guide for any kid. I really swear by giving games as gifts. It is an experience gift that you can wrap up and hand to somebody, and then they unwrap and get to enjoy and play over and over and over again. The best games to give are the ones that you know they will actually play. And these are just so easy to get up and running, little to no rules to figure out, but they're also fun and engaging too. So these are can't miss, gonna be a great choice. So I hope you found a good game that you're excited about giving to somebody. And thank you so much for tuning in. Subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time. Thanks from Game Like a Mother.